Thank you.
Izzy texted the team a list of things that they needed to improve on from the last game last night. Just what do you think of that leadership from her?
Awesome, but expect that. That's who she is. The conversations that we have with her, the confidence that she has in knowing what we need. Um, I'm sure the things were all spot on, every single one of them. No question that she knows not only what we're trying to do, but why we're trying to do it and how we're trying to get it accomplished.
What happened in the second half for y'all to have that defensive success? I think held them to 22 points after halftime.
Yeah, we started getting all the 50-50 balls. Before that, it was about 50-50. I think it was like 90-10 in that third quarter. The effort was much better. I thought our focus was a lot better. And I think with our particular group, their desire to please. I know I've said it a lot of different ways, but the conversation at halftime was not hellfire and brimstone. Wasn't anywhere close. It was very controlled. It was very tangible. It was all things. It wasn't just play harder or play. There were some tangible things. We started. Coach Todd decided that we're going to have Kiki Smith just pick the ball up, no matter who had it. The first half we got missed, had some problems getting matched up. I thought the second half we did that a lot better, and Kiki did a lot better influencing the ball. We guarded the 3-point line a lot better. I felt like they made six in the first half and three in the second half. That's a big part of what they do. We cut our turnovers, the live ball turnovers part down that they were kind of taken for touchdowns. But I thought there was just a better calmness about them. That's now, that gave us 6 quarters in a row playing that way. It finally set in.
Last game, her foul troubles were down, but maybe the production dropped too tonight or today. She had a very productive day and stayed out of foul trouble. How
Yeah.
critical is that?
Well, we worked really hard on the back line of their pressure. That was one area they were a little bit different than Oral Roberts, is they kind of come out of the hole and make you throw that pass. And we worked on it for 2 days, yelling rim, 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 and her high pitched voice echoed through that gym. And I thought she did a good job back there finishing. We did a good job finding her. She's starting to get in the right spot a lot of times now, and just her effort makes us makes us a different team when her effort level is there and she's able to play. I don't know if 31 minutes is right because I know Jenna didn't play 48, but if it's somewhere close to that, that's where she needs to live. She's only been averaging about 21 minutes. We need her there around 30. And I think Danica's minutes were very valuable. She did what she did. She got 4 finishes and got to the foul line, stayed out of foul trouble. So and we need both of those kids to continue to improve. And I thought we had great improvement from Thursday to Sunday.
And on Vera, obviously she got the 20 points, or I think 20 points,
Yeah,
and you guys
I think
ended
so.
up ended up winning the rebound battle. Just how important was it for this game to establish that post presence?
Um, they're not big. They're built around their perimeter players and their guards. So we felt like we needed to dominate that spot. And you can feel like it all you want, and you can draw it up all you want, but then you got to go out and do it. And I think that's a kid that, the more at bats she gets, the better she's going to keep being. Just more minutes, more minutes, more minutes, more understanding. She's got a very coachable heart. Like this kid, she wants to do well for her team. She wants to do well for her family. There's so many. Her purpose is the right purpose. We've talked about playing purpose for playing these days, but hers is the right one. So I'm excited for her to have that moment. She doesn't understand what Arkansas State meant. We had to explain that to her. Like, there's another college in our state, and it's been a rival, and we used to not be able to play them. And the last time we played them and they beat us, they made a movie about it. And like, she looked at me like, huh? And I said, no, that really, that kind of happened. So um, to see things through these kids' eyes, all of our kids, are kind of in a different role. Um, to see those types of things unfold it's really been a fun year coaching them.
Full court press, maybe it caused some
It
problems, and
did.
then later on it didn't as much. Just were there any changes in the way you guys approached that, or how'd you guys kind of take that on?
We changed the personnel a little bit. Yeah, we got some ball handlers in there. I played Carly Johnson at a post position. I mean, if you're asking us to label, what position she was playing, there was times she was playing a post, but they didn't have a post in either, so she could guard somebody. Got an extra ball handler in there. Carly's a good decision maker. She made some things happen. I don't know if these lineup efficiencies are right, but I'm going to tell you, she has earned extra minutes by being in good lineups through our first 6 games. And it's one place that we rely on analytics to kind of see that, because sometimes a stat sheet, is hard to determine that by. But I thought she's really, really good for us.
Is that like a stress reaction that Izzy has, and were you having to kind of manage that in and out?
Trying to get her out around media timeouts, Grant, is like anytime I look up and there's a chance for her to rest an extra 30 seconds or an extra whatever, try to get her out of that. But yeah, it's one of those things that she didn't practice on what day we play Friday. She didn't practice Friday, so she's going to be limited in her. We're going to have to limit her practice reps, even on Saturday. Rather than being on 3 or 4 teams, she was on 1. So her timing is going to get off a little bit. But if anybody can handle that, it's going to be her. Obviously, she had a lot of emotion going into this game. We talked about it before the game. She, no surprise, was very mature about it. And I know she is glad this one's out of the way. We've only for that reason there.
Players, has it been like Vera was in here talking about kind of how the tempo, she's just now getting used to kind of the tempo of this level of basketball. I guess, how do you try and manage that in timeouts or even in practice?
We are very intentional with our words. Like, we are having the words we are choosing to use as a staff are really intentional, because we can't overload with information or with description sometimes. We got to keep it very simple right now, because she can understand it. Everybody can understand it and it's forced us to be better coaches. There's no question. If you ask the people on our hallway, we've met more. We're on the same page more. We've had more conversations with each other, because we want to make sure that the players see we are on that same page and communicate in the same words. And for her, when I think she talks about pace, it's the pace of her full day. She's a very good student. She's very conscientious with being in the right spot at the right time. And that's a lot for anybody to deal with. And she's really starting to hit her stride with that. I don't worry about her being in class. I don't worry about her being in meeting. I know she's taking care of all those things. And as a result of having that area of her life in place, I think her basketball then has time to catch up.
I know we're questioning what's correct on the stat sheet, but I was keeping up with it. Izzy did have 8 rebounds. How big is that for a 5'7" guard?
Massive. And they were all I bet they're all defensive, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because we tell her to get back on offense. Half of those are those 50-50 balls. When the other team shoots threes, they become speed rebounds. It's not going to be those 9-foot rebounds. It's going to be the 9-inch ones. And I thought she dug a bunch of those out. And then that got us going on transition too. She was out in front of the break, leading it, getting to the foul line, created a couple of good catch and shoot looks for Jenna to get her going there in the second half. A couple for Kiki, and then a couple of throw aheads to our bigs. Defensive rebounding was good. I think they probably missed 26 threes. That's probably about right. So you're going to have a certain number they're going to bounce their way, but I thought in the second half we dominated those balls that either one of us could have gotten to. And I think Izzy got several of those. Jenna got a couple of tough ones. And then Carly, I think, had several too. It felt like, I could be wrong, but it felt like she had 4 or 5.
Big picture perspective, how necessary was it to get kind of the taste of the last 2 games out of your mouth today?
Big. I just looked at the halftime score of the UCLA South Carolina game, so that taste isn't. It was 43-22, I think, at halftime, South Carolina. So we flushed them pretty fast. I obviously I understand the question you're asking. It stinks to lose any day, but especially if you get on a little bit of a streak, it's easy to get it. So I thought it was important for us to stay above 500. You feel different. You feel different when you win. I don't know if we played any better yet. I'll have to go home and watch. I think we did. But you're like you said, that the endorphins that get released and the hormones that come out, whether you win or lose, they hit you different. So I'm not going to tell you they don't. They certainly do. Fuller gave me a stat that we're 19-1 in our in-state games. These games are hard. I talked to my buddies. I just talked to Bill Finley at Iowa State. They've played back-to-back with Northern Iowa. I think they were in a close game with Drake today, a really close game. I think it's important we play these games. It's really, really hard on our kids because they know each other. And in this case, obviously played against each other, played together. We're on buses together. But I still think for our state, it's really important for us to keep doing it. And I think Des is doing a great job with her group. They have a very identifiable style of play, and they're fun to watch. I'm glad we don't have to. I'll be able to watch them for enjoyment instead of scouting now. And then we just got one of those, not looking ahead, but obviously UCA is the last one that we have left in state. Got a lot of games between now and then, and there's a lot of stuff to happen. But I'm going recruiting tomorrow. It's a lot easier to go recruiting. It's just the chili tonight that I'm going to cook will taste incredibly better, even though it's going to be the same ingredients. It's just where we're at right now. You feel relief. You do. You feel relieved that you won, and you don't have to handle the things that losing brings. And then you'll get a chance to, kind of be excited. And we've chosen this year to no matter what the game, what the circumstances, if we look down at the end and we got to win, we're going to find a way to celebrate it.